So let us start the session now along with the recording. Yeah. So we were on the management information systems. Yeah. We discussed the understanding of management information systems in organizations. And after discussing the different types of information systems, their features, we discussed about the security, the competitive advantages, and then in the learning outcome 2, we discussed about the performance of the management information system that explained the how the the equipment, software, networking, individuals are dealt, and in order to give the best performance and their effectiveness we discussed. Yeah, probably you remember or not, but those were discussed in those slides. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long ago, but yeah, I'll probably go over the video again, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, once you will recall via slides, then you will get it. So the third learning outcome and the last learning outcome of this unit is to plan improvements to a management information system. So you need to give some kind of recommendations to improve the management information system and plan further system development to information system. So improvements: studying people, studying technology, studying organizations, extensions to the process, selection, assessment of current process, process plan, process changing. So these are just the keywords, but I would be discussing regarding the recommendations and future plans to the information system, and that would cover the improvements and extensions. Yeah. So let us go through one by one now. So are you able to see the screen fully?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But basically, when I keep it on the full screen, yeah, then what I have noticed that something goes wrong. Yeah. So let us go by this in this way. Now, MIS improvements. So recommendations to improve the management information system. There are few things more frustrating at work when you have an issue with the information system. So that's true. Nowadays, everything is related with the information system. If anything goes wrong, then the whole work stops, and everybody, even the customers, the employees, they get frustrated. Yeah. So whether it will be an individual workstation, a database, or the internet speed, most of the business world depends on its information systems operating at peak levels. That's true. Some businesses have a luxury of employing an information technology staff to help with these problems. Many small businesses, however, do not have this luxury. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there is a role, a big role of information systems, and really depends from business size. It depends on the size of the business. If you have an IT staff, you will have you won't have any problem for the longer time. But if you don't have, then probably you would be worried. Yeah. So in order to give an improved MIS service, there are certain points you need to focus on. Number one is develop a technology usage agreement for your staff. Yeah. So what it is include compliance issues such as inappropriate web surfing, data or music downloading policy, and data confidentiality. Yeah. So before you use any system and want to avoid any mishaps or any problems, you should have a kind of certain things needs to be considered. One of them develop technology usage, like your new employees, existing employees may be informed explicitly about their web surfing, restrictions, data, downloading music, or playing with any of the confidential information, and it would help to get the improved, usage of information systems. Is that true?
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, prohibiting
Yeah.
visiting website categories known to house viruses such as torrent sites, gambling, and file sharing sites. Yeah?
Yeah, we where I am at the moment, we've got a policy that says you're not allowed to download music, you're not allowed to, gamble, you're not allowed to have torrents and so on. And generally, most people stick to it. We have had one or two people that have broke the rules, and they get told off, they get put on a warning.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, if you are in a workplace and you are supposed to spend your whole time, on the company work. And can I ask that when you join the company, wherever you are working, were you given the kind of technology usage agreement to you explicitly?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I actually had a different one to everybody else because I was in IT, so it
Yeah,
was a slightly more sort of modified version, a lot more in it basically, because obviously I've got full access to the whole system.
yeah,
So I had to sign extra bits and pieces, whereas the average user, a
yeah,
lot of the stuff that was on mine, they wouldn't be able to do anyway.
yeah,
So yeah, we had to sign a special agreement to say we wouldn't store our own personal files and so on their servers and use torrent sites and so on and so forth. And of
yeah,
course I don't.
yeah, yeah. That's good. That as a system administrator, the things needs to be made prohibited technically, like blocking the sites, as well as acknowledge to the staff that they should not try in any ways, like for example, some of the sites are blocked, and it shouldn't be the case that they are trying to use it via some proxies.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing actually. We
Yeah, like extension, yeah. I mean, that should be that's a good thing. Yeah. So being the administrator, or while you discussing the improvements to the MIS, that thing needs to be made very clear. Yeah. So it's good,
mm,
and that you are already in a in an organization and you have a good role, but as a learner, you know and this is a good thing that it needs to be adopted. Yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because
it's good thing. Yeah, and create a
yeah.
comprehensive, yeah, next is create a comprehensive technology plan. This plan should address the systematic replacement of aging workstations and ways to evaluate emerging technologies. It should provide a basic map of how your information system will run today and in the future, taking in account the rapidly changing nature of the industry. Yeah. So, for example, you might have heard about the Windows 10 migration. Have you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, and I've done several.
Yeah. So these things, needs to be to have a comprehensive plan, and the change of the technology and smooth transition, and it shouldn't be the case that you are going these things in all sudden. but it should go through a plan. Yeah, and it should be, revised as well, and then you will get the improved, MIS. Otherwise, not. That is one of the key points to consider the technology change plan. Yeah. Next is contact your internet service provider to investigate increasing your bandwidth. Yeah. So that's very simple thing to place an order. Yeah. That increase our bandwidth, but obviously it says often increasing bandwidth makes multitasking much easier and reduces application hangups caused by slow updating. Consider Isp redundancy if you have repeated downtime from your primary carrier. So not only you remain in touch with your internet service provider, but if you think that you are facing the problems with one of your internet service provider, then probably you might need to change it.
Yeah, that's what I'm just about to do for my broadband at home, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So, number 3 point is that there is a major role of, the internet service provider, yeah, in your daily operations. Yeah. If you have, problems, then you try to increase the speed. And even if after increasing the speed, you have the problems, then there could be any, reoccurring problems with your ISP, and then try to change it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Consult with one of the many firms who provide off-site storage for your key documents and databases. This service is typically easy to install and provides you with easy disaster recovery should you have a major system issue or viruses. Yeah. So in order to have the uh, safe storage of your documents and databases, whatsoever the assets you have in digital form, those needs to be stored somewhere else. You can call it like offsite storage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the twin tower. Yeah. Their data was not stored into the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was stored somewhere else. So obviously physically it was a kind of disaster, damage to the premises, but everything was stored. Stored, let's say somewhere else. Or maybe, for example, if there is a branch in the high street, yeah, and if it gets the fire, yeah, all the computers get burnt, yeah, but obviously whatever the balance of the customers and everything, they are stored on a central server. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that particular central server is not the one location of the storage, but it has to be stored on many servers as well. Not many, but in many places. For example, even at the continental basis, yeah, if it is a bank and it has a server in UK, probably it should have a server in US as well. Yeah, probably it should have a server, the backup server in the Australia as well. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that even if it is the a kind of disaster, that data damages, for example, or the buildings crashes, but even if the internet is not accessible, yeah, like the internet cable which is running into the sea, yeah, then you won't be able to access that server from the USA. You understand what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, even not the physical damage to the servers, but the continental access to the data is the matters.
Yes.
A
I
little, yeah, you understand what I mean, yeah?
I completely understand this. I spend quite a lot of time at work working on DR plans and doing
Yeah.
a DR rehearsal. I've actually got a DR rehearsal next week, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, so we use disaster recovery company in
Yeah.
up in London, and what happens is they basically all our data gets synced to them
Yeah.
using Veeam Cloud, and then what happens is they basically bring it down on site and we test the recovery. So should be fun.
Yeah. And let me give you another example. Yeah. The cryptocurrency accounts.
Yeah,
Yeah. And even the cryptocurrency, like, the Bitcoin address. Yeah. The records of the transactions are stored at every single user for all of the transactions. Do you have an idea about it?
yeah. Sort of. Yeah, it's basically the way it works is it's peer to peer, isn't it? And all the transactions are stored in a ledger, and that ledger is shared amongst all the users, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So not only they are safe from they are not only safe from the disaster, but also any infringement, yeah, or any intrusion or any change or any hacker tries to change it won't affect the all of the records.
Yeah, it's interesting. I find that really interesting that the way the Bitcoin works.
Yeah,
It's I can see it becoming quite a big thing in the future.
yeah,
In the way it works. Yeah, I don't know like all the ins and outs of it, but I have a basic understanding of like the ledger and all that kind of stuff. So
I can see.
hello.
Hello, yes. Can you hear me
Hello.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you again now.
Yeah. So I just noticed that when I put the screen, uh, in a full screen, slide show, so something goes wrong. Yeah. So probably it gets buffering, or the system or the software, gets loaded with cache. But anyways, I will discuss with Mr. Raman, that probably or other tutors, do they feel the same problem or not? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether it might be worth speaking to your internet service provider.
No, the internet is fine. The only one reason, maybe I'm not sure, that the room I'm upstairs, and the the downstairs I have a router. Yeah. But it shouldn't be the problem. The router is exactly under the roof, and I'm not away from the router in any ways more than 5 meters.
Do you get this problem with other students?
I think so, yeah, but I'm not sure whether it's my laptop, or when I full screen the PPT slide, or it can be any reason. But in any ways, I would discuss with this, other tutors and Mr. Raman, the director, that do they feel face same problem or not. Alternatively, I would try to have the session next time on the cable, Ethernet cable, so that probably the wireless signals could be causing any problem.
Get Raman to buy you a new laptop.
Sorry?
Get Raman to buy you a new laptop.
No, my laptop is good, and yeah, because it has got SSD drive, yeah, and
okay.
SSD drive would never let you, hang or take the burden of any, of the softwares at all.
I think it's a problem with it's what you said. It's a problem with PowerPoint when it goes full screen.
Yeah. Not sure. Maybe the problem with the Join Me software.
Yeah. Or it could be my laptop.
Well, I would discuss with him and let's see. So okay, so number 4, yeah. Number 4 regarding the storage document, it should be considered that remote storage, offsite storage, yeah. The 5th is consult with one of many firms who provide offsite. This is the consider software as a server service options for functions such as word processing, email, customer relationship management. So, can you give me an example of software as a service?
Office 365, Google
Exactly.
Docs.
Yeah, exactly. That's the concept. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Office 365 may be the there is a software worksheets online. Yeah. And many more things. You understand what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm clear with that. Yeah.
Because it would reduce the cost. Applied on the hardware as well as software licenses.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Utilize free software to free up your technology budget to upgrade machines faster. Many companies such as Google, Sun, Adobe add free services and entice customers to remain brand loyal. So obviously you should try a free brands initially. If you are happy with them, then go ahead with this. Obviously you need to buy and spend a lot of it. But being a better technology usage, yeah, it's just the recommendation to you that you try at least free softwares first, and then if you need to upgrade, go ahead. Otherwise at least you try. Yeah. So it's not the case that the free softwares may not be good, but that's not true. Free softwares can be good. Yeah.
Can't you?
Schedule periodic maintenance downtime. Yeah. So no matter your computers and everything are working well, but you must have a periodic downtime. Like you must have fire alarm drill every week. Or maybe after 3 days. I'm not sure how often do you test the fire alarm.
We test the fire alarm every Thursday at 11. Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's good. So, like the periodic maintenance downtime should be there in the system, so that there should not be any burden on the system and you can carry out with your updates, scanning for viruses, and examine any error logs during this scheduled times. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Good. Now we have to extend our system. Yeah, like if you have 4 computers and you want to extend to 10 computers, yeah, and not only increasing the number, but maybe the other factors as well. So further system development, in order to extend the MIS, you need to consider certain challenges like quantity, the quantity in the form of content and context of the information, how much information and exactly what should it describe. Yeah. So before you extend anything, you should know that how much quantity of information you are dealing with, nature of analysis and presentation, comprehensibility of the information. Yeah. So what is the nature of information you are dealing? Availability of information, like a frequency, contemporariness, like how much time it is occurring, on demand or routine, periodic or occasional, one time info are repetitive in nature, and so on. Accuracy of the information, reliability of information, and security and authentication of the system. Makes sense that before you extend the system, you should know these things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't, expect and the uh, expect no in-depth knowledge about these parameters, then probably you can advise the wrong extension, into the existing system, isn't it?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
For example, if you wanted to extend the your systems, and probably for the reason that you want to deal with more quantity of information. Yeah. For
Yeah.
example, if you have a load of, let's say 100 clients in a year, yeah, and somebody advise you, let's say any technical, person, okay, we want to upgrade your system, to additionally 5 servers, yeah, and no matter that if you have, uh, big earning from the company, but your clients are, in less in number, yeah, but you have a big project, you have a big savings, you shouldn't take the wrong decision by extending the number of servers. Probably your one server might be sufficient because of the quantity of the data.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anything should be regarding these things should be, you should consider that what factors should be affected, and what factors should be considered in order to give an extension to the system. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. Design and development process has to address the following issues successfully for extension. There should be effective communication between the developers and users of the system. So when you really want to extend, you should have a good communication between the users and the developers. They should be able to communicate the problems, their needs. Yeah. There should be synchronization in understanding of management, processes, and IT among the users as well as the developers. Understanding of information needs of managers from different functional areas, and combining these needs into a single integrated system. Creating a unified MIS, a whole complete system covering the entire organization, will lead to a more economical, faster, and more integrated system. However, it will increase in design complexity manifold. So the development process, in order to extend the MIS, yeah, communication should be better, synchronization in the understanding of the process, and actual needs of the managers, and bringing up a complete system is important, but obviously it would increase a little bit the complexity on overall system, but it is better to come up with a whole system. Yeah. These are the kind of issues that you need to address in advance. Yeah, and you need to address these issues successfully in order to give a good extension, a good design for the extension and development. Yeah, is that clear?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's clear. Yeah.
A bit theoretical, yeah, but it has some points when it needs to be really extended. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then it's continued. The MIs has to be interacting with the complex environment comprising all other subsystems in overall information system of an organization. So it is extremely necessary to understand and define requirements of MIS in the context of the organization. So while you are, extending the MIS, yeah, then it shouldn't be considered at the technological level only, but its organizational context should also be considered and understood well in the understood well, and the requirements should be defined well, very well. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So the extensions not only be done on the technological level, but understanding of the system requirements regarding the context of you know business environment should be considered as well. It shouldn't be the case that the developers understand the way they do technically, but the business needs, yeah, might be different and difficult to comply with the technical changes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Then it should keep pace with changes in the environment, changing demands of the customers, and growing competition. So any changes should be considered with the demands of the customers. It should utilize fast developing IT capabilities in best possible ways. Cost and time of installing such advanced IT based system is high, so there should not be a need of frequent and major modifications. Although you are going to upgrade it, you are going to extend it, but any more changes or modification should be avoided because they cost it.
Yeah.
It should take care of not only the users, the managers, but also other stakeholders like employees, customers, and suppliers as well. So it's not only the managers and its employees who use it, the system, but you should consider that how the customers and suppliers will get effect of changing. Probably, for example, if you created a new invoice system, yeah, then invoice system for the customers or ordering system of for supplies, yeah, then
Yeah.
it could be a hurdle for them by the introduction of the new system. Is it possible? Is it possible that if any organization got a change or extension into the MIS and their customers or suppliers got affected because of the communication or the system usage or maybe order processing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. The system that we've just changed over to, the ordering system that we use, one of our suppliers didn't follow our instructions.
Yeah,
And basically what happened was when we went live, all the orders were just disappearing.
yeah,
And part of the problem that they had is that on their side of the system,
yeah,
their
exactly.
their ordering system was developed in-house. It was written by a programmer in-house. And part of the problem was that programmer left, so nobody could change the program.
Yeah.
So basically now what we have to do now is just as a temporary workaround, we basically have to manually put it in the system, which is kind of defeats the object of computers, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a recommendation that any of the change or extension of the system, you should especially take care that the modification not only affects the stakeholders but the customers and suppliers, and their interaction with the system can also get affected. So need to take care of it. Yeah. Now, before the system is in operation, the following issues should be taken care of as well. So data security, backup and recovery, system control, testing of the system to ensure that it works bug-free in all expected business situations. The hardware and software used should be able to deliver the expected processing. The system capacity and expected response time should be maintained. The system should do well documented, including a user guide for inexperienced users, a user reference or operations manual for advanced users, a system reference manual describing system structure and architecture. So in other words, these points and issues are normally considered at the introduction of a new system. However, after the extension, the same list needs to be revised and considered as an expected issues, and may be communicated again.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
So the cycle of the initial development should be revised at the extension, considering all these things, after the extension. Obviously, this does not include the development and the requirement process, but it does include the after delivery system. They may be considered as a maintenance of the system in the revised version. Yeah. So that's it, I think. So so we discussed about extensions and improvements. So anything else you want me to discuss from these slides again?
No, that's all quite clear now. I think that's if I can think of anything, will let you know through the emails. But no, that all seems clear. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So, how about the next schedule? Let me, stop the recording now, and then we can talk about the next schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.